We'll watch these, and then we'll do a bit of theory crafting. We're gonna get it into spoilers for God of War 2018. So, if you haven't seen or heard of the end of this game that we're currently playing on the channel, then maybe mute the stream until I do this. Actually, I'll go full cam and I'll go like this for like a solid few seconds, so you know you're good. Okay. Or you can just come back in, I don't know, 15 minutes, something like that. But yeah, most of what we're going to be talking about. Remember, I'm a very very novice when it comes to like Norse myth and stuff like that, but it interests me a lot. So I would say I know I'm like on the higher tier of novice. I'm almost like if it were like the A through F grading scale, I would give myself like a C+ as far as my knowledge of actual Norse myth goes. I don't know names and places and stuff as well as I do for like Greek and Roman myth. But Norse myth intrigues me super much. Super mucho, dude. Greek or Norse myth intrigues me so much just because so much of it doesn't make sense at all, right? Like back then when the people who were transcribing this stuff or writing it, like we didn't know, like they didn't know that we would want to go back and be like, oh, I wonder what Loki's doing for the beginning of Ragnarok, and everyone's like, I don't know what we didn't write that. like no one knows now because it was never written down. People didn't know that we were gonna have these people that wanted to delve into this stuff so deeply, right? So they did shit like made Loki, spoiler alert, Atreus is Loki. Atreus is the daughter of Faye and Kratos in the game. But at birth, he was given the name Loki. That's what Faye called him to when she was talking about him to her friends and her family members and whatnot. So Loki is the last of the Jotnar, or at least we think so. As far as the God of War lore is concerned for God of War 2018, Loki is the last remaining Jotnar or giant. There are some videos I watched with a person who knows way more about Norse myth than I do. He got a doctorate in it, in fact, and he teaches it. And he doesn't necessarily like using the term giant to describe the Jotnar, even though that's the most accurate translation of it. Because when we hear giant today, we think of somebody very large in stature, right? When that's not necessarily the truth. The Jotnar were described as being godlike, right? They looked like the gods. So they were either human size or maybe some of them were real tall, you know? Like, the guy that I watched likes using the term anti-god or just calling them the Jotnar. Likes using the term anti-god because the of course in Norse myth, we're not going to get super far into it, but the giants and the Aesir and Vanir had a war against each other, and that was thought to have wiped out the Jotnar, or at least confined them to their own realm in Jotunheim. Anyway, we're not going to get into that part of Norse myth, but I know probably more than the average person, but not as much as I should to be talking about it. I just know the popular theories that were developed at the end of God of War, and especially from the panels at the end of God of War. So, just to give you a little bit of a preface, at the very end of God of War, you make it to Jotunheim. Not going to say how you get there, in case anybody in the chat doesn't want to be spoiled. too bad. But you make it to Jotunheim, you make it to the tallest peak in all the realms, and on your way up, you see these murals on the wall that literally depict every single step of your journey that you take in the game. So it was planned, it was predetermined, it was fate. Norse myth is very big on fate. In fact, Odin knows of Ragnarok. Odin knows that he will fall in Ragnarok. But he still tries to take steps to not make it happen. But Norse myth is very big on the fact that it's fate. You will die one day, and it's a predetermined date, and no matter what happens, you will die on that date. You just don't know when, or you don't know how, right? So Odin knows he's going to die, and he even figures out who is going to kill him. It's Fenrir, I think. I think Fenrir kills Odin in Ragnarok. But he's still, he just chains him up, right? Because in the realm of the gods, they have a very strict no blood rule. Like, you cannot spill blood in the realm of the gods. So they chain Fenrir up, and basically they try to hold him down forever to try to prevent Ragnarok, or at least one of those events of Ragnarok from happening. What the hell was I talking about? I need to start writing scripts for this kind of shit. I really do. But they're really big on fate. So you get to Jotunheim, and you start seeing these murals that depict every single step of your journey in God of War. The 2018 game. Every single step of it. Every single step. It's predetermined, and Kratos has spent his entire life trying to deny fate, right? Trying to have a general disregard for this idea of predetermined destiny. He so badly wants to forge his own destiny. So this understandably, like, freaks him out, right? He's like, I think he even says, I am not the only one who held secrets. Like, apparently I'm not the only one who was keeping something from somebody. It doesn't, it freaks him out about as much as you can freak, you know, an at least 100-year-old Spartan out, I guess. And it even shows some future stuff that I will bring up after we watch these trailers. We're going to start with the earliest. We're going to go this official trailer. This is just the release trailer. And then you've got the Myths of Midgard trailer, which is a little longer. And then the most recent one that was uploaded at State of Play yesterday. That's an actual story trailer, shows a lot of gameplay. So we'll start with the earliest. Mix of gameplay and in-game cinematics. Okay, you can read that. Already very, very different. Right? Already very, very different. At the beginning of God of War, Kratos tells Atreus to take him hunting. Like, he's going to go with him. He's testing him, see if he can control himself enough to hunt a deer, so he'll be prepared for this journey they're about to go on. And then already in this one, so different. So different. It just shows the growth of the characters throughout the game. Kratos is sitting at a fire. It looks like he's making arrows. And Atreus brings back a deer. Atreus has successfully hunted a deer in the middle of Fimbulwinter. Fimbulwinter. Which is huge.
Time is running out. The prophecies say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok.
Yeah?
War is coming. My story doesn't end hiding in these woods. I should be out there, finding out who I am, who Loki is.
I will not allow you to pick a fight with gods.
I don't want to fight.
And there you go. So I also learned that is somewhat accurate. So that's Freya, or the Witch of the Woods, excuse me. So in the Norse myth, Freya has a cloak that allows her to take the form of a falcon or something like that. She actually lets Loki borrow it so he can descend into the depths of Helheim to raise his army. You know, he doesn't go down there to raise an army, but he does. So even that's a little accurate. So Freya's really mad at us, and if you don't know why, I won't spoil that unless they say it.
I just want answers.
And if those answers lead to war with Asgard,
Maybe that's what Mother wanted.
we do not know what Mother wanted.
Well,
Mimir's
I
back.
recognize that dour expression anywhere.
Look at that. So this is gameplay. This seems to be, to me, your first trek around the Lake of Nine. This is the Lake of Nine, by the way. In Fimbulwinter. You can see Atreus sitting there in the front. Right there. And we've got two wolves here. That are taking us around instead of the boat. We've already got the axe. It looks like it's lost. It's all of its power. Very typical for God of War games. Same thing with the Blades of Chaos. Spoiler alert, you get the Blades of Chaos in God of War. And we already start with Mimir. We start with everything we had. This looks a little weird. This reminds me of the pouch that Kratos carried Faye's ashes in for the entirety of the first game. But anyway, the lake is frozen over. Fimbulwinter, if you don't know, is it literally translates closest to like terrible winter. It's 3 seasons of winter in a row. There's no spring or summer. It's just 3 seasons of winter. And that's supposed to be the beginning of Ragnarok. Once Fimbulwinter ends, the war happens, is what it's supposed to be.
Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared.
Those are Odin's 2 birds. I asked Silpix the name of them yesterday and already forgot. It was Hugin and something else. It means, as Silpix let us know, mind and thought. So I like how as soon as they mention Odin in the trailer, we'll rewind so you can hear it, of course. As soon as they mention Odin, they flash to this scene, and 2 ravens fly away.
Tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
We do not.
Well, anywhere.
There we go.
Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
What if there was someone who could help us?
You mean Tyr, the old god of war in these lands, who is
Very interesting they call Tyr the old god of war. I know he was unseated, but would it have been around this time? Also, where are we right now? So it looks like we're going to go find Tyr, and if you've seen the trailers, you definitely go to find Tyr.
dead.
Well, for a dead man, Odin seemed pretty keen on seeing.
See what I'm talking about? Like, people, look how much more alive this looks. You see these dwarves walking around? There was a dwarf walking across the bridge. I'm so sorry, I'll stop pausing, I promise. There are dwarves over here. It looks way more alive.
wasn't found.
If
At
he's
least
out
this
there,
realm does.
We gotta find him.
Come in. What in all yarns be the happen to him?
There's Brock and Sindri.
We're trying to stop Ragnarok, to help people. And what if the only way to do that is war?
Enemies. What else could you want?
Is not the only way.
Stop thinking like a father for a moment and start thinking like a general.
You seem like a
Again,
calm and
so different than the first game. Atreus wants him to be a father so badly in the first game. And now that they're faced with these, now that Atreus has grown, a little bit at least, and now that he knows who he is, he wants to find out more about who he is and what it means. He wants Kratos he said, stop being a father for a second and just think like a general. And Kratos is like, no. When in most of the first game, it's the opposite. He's thinking like a general instead of a father. He does not know how to be a father to Kratos or to Atreus.
person. Are you a calm and reasonable person?
Big crocodile?
In moments of crisis, panic does nothing. Harness it. Let it serve you.
New shield moves?
Tyr!
There's Tyr.
Are you coming with us?
He is so big. Tyr be a tall boy, dude.
You'll get your answers soon enough. Well, some of them.
Oh, 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 oh. For those of you who don't know, they don't state it, but they said it on the website. That was Angrboda, which in Norse myth is Loki's wife. They're around the same age, so that checks out. So 1 year ago, let's go to the Myths of Midgard trailer. Is it going to be a different? Second PlayStation invited 2 of the best storytellers, whatever. We know to recap the journey of Kratos from Atreus from God of War. Hey, Felicia Day. So we won't watch that one because that could spoil the that could spoil God of War. So we won't watch that one. We'll just watch the new one. I've only watched this one once. Only once, didn't pause, didn't go back, didn't do anything. Nothing. So this is the second time I'm watching this. This was released yesterday at State of Play. This is the official story trailer. Right ahead of release, we got about 2 months, a little less than 2 months until God of War Ragnarok.
Everyone keeps secrets.
Everyone keeps
Sometimes
secrets.
it's the only way to protect the ones we love.
You see Kratos abandoning his weapons,
I know you.
freeing
God
Tyr.
killer. What is he?
Tyr says he knows who we are. This looks like a Valkyrie to me. This looks like a Valkyrie. Obviously, Tyr comes with us for at least a portion of our journey.
You want from me?
What is he?
Is it a god of war you came to find?
You don't really want war, do you, Kratos?
This, I have no idea who that is. No clue. I've racked my brain. Could it be Odin? Maybe? We haven't seen what Odin would look like in the God of War series.
All that blood on your hands, on your son's hands.
What is it you will not tell me?
I can't talk about it, but I just need you to trust me.
This scene right here will play into the theory that I have read that I want to expound upon, right? So Kratos wasn't the only one with secrets, right? Just like you said at the end of God of War 2018. Now Atreus has a secret he's keeping from Kratos, and he thinks it's so important that he cannot tell his own father. He thinks that this secret is so important, so tied to the balance of what is happening, that he cannot tell him.
We follow your every whim,
But you don't believe in any of it.
and still I follow.
Kratos wants him to tell him real bad. He said, "We follow your every whim." And Atreus said, "But you don't believe in any of it." And then Kratos is like, "But still I follow." This is Freya. She's again pissed.
Because all that matters is that you are safe.
But that's not all that matters. Who's keeping
If you don't know, we'll figure out what that is. what this specifically right here is. In our playthrough of God of War.
You safe?
I do not need you to protect me.
You sure about that?
Pretender god!
2 Valkyries.
For the old father!
Death can
Pretender
have
God.
me when it earns me.
Oh. Oh, I didn't hear that the first time. Death can have me when it earns me. Oh. Basically, it's basically the same thing as saying I'm not going down without a fight. Like, I don't need to be protected. Death can have me when it earns me. Looks like we're going back to Helheim. It's already been said we're going to visit all 9 realms in this game, so we're going to see a lot of stuff we've already seen.
Oh, God.
That's
In your
cool. That enemy
lifetime,
looks
has
dope as shit.
anyone ever worshipped you?
Has anyone
Ever prayed to you?
ever prayed to you?
Can you even imagine that kind of love? No.
That enemy's kind of cool. I don't know what it is, but it looks kind of cool.
You don't care about anything beyond yourself. Beyond the monster who kills without cause.
That looks like Angraboda, maybe Freya. Still trying to save her, even though she's trying to hurt us. Underwater, saving Atreus. See, do you see the parallels? Instead of just doing all this mindless killing, like in the first 7 God of War games, we're saving people now. We've come full circle. We are saving people now. This is so exciting. So, that's Skull and Hati. The color scheme is the same as the wolves you see leading your sled. Don't know if they are the same, but this is Skull and Hati. In Norse myth, Skull and Hati chase the sun and the moon. They basically make the day and night cycle, right? And this scene is so cool.
Fate only binds you if you let it.
Look at that, dude. And now it's nighttime.
Do what is necessary. Not because it is written.
Are those... almost looks like Yggdrasil. And it almost looks like a bunch of, like, Odin's ravens or something. Maybe they're going to play a bigger part. I don't know. Look at that big-ass jellyfish. Tyr. He was holding one of the blades of chaos.
We will make our own destiny.
We will make our own destiny. 11-9. 11-9. That's, in a little less than 2 months. It's the 14th today. But, hang on. Hang on, look at this. My boy Thor is pissed. He's so mad at us. So we both throw. Get it back. Ha! I wish I could go frame by frame. But that's cool. Where's Skull and Hati, though? I like what he's talking about back with Skull and Hati as well. That fate only binds you if you let it. Listen.
Fate only binds you if you let it.
Only if you let it. I really like this, dude. If they release a still of this, this is my new computer background for sure. For both of my monitors. I don't care if it's repeated. But anyway, what I wanted to bring up, let me do some searching. What I wanted to bring up, mural. I don't want the video. I want the... You son of a bitch. We'll go to Game Rant. We'll open this picture. So, it all starts with this picture. This is what I want to bring up. Starts with this picture. This is one of the stills you see at the very end of the game. This is the one I was talking about. Maybe it's predicting the future, right? It looks like Kratos has been mortally wounded. He's being held by Atreus. He's dying, basically, is what this is. He is dying. This is predicting Kratos' death. A lot of people are saying that Kratos is going to die in God of War Ragnarok because it's been confirmed that this is the last game in the Kratos series. Then you got this weird shit flowing out of their mouth, right? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's supposed to be like an artistic representation of like the breath of life or something. But let me pull up another picture. Some people are saying these things. I'm going to show you the two pictures real quick. I'm going to see if you guys can put it together. Okay? Predicting the death of Kratos. Think in Norse mythology. So at the end, we figure out that Atreus has another name. It is Loki. Think about the lineage. Loki has children. Who are they? Who are Loki's children? Kratos is dying. This idea of defying fate seems to play a big part in God of War Ragnarok. You got any ideas yet? Anybody have any ideas? Any ideas? So, some people are saying, and this is very in line with Norse myth about how, like, weird it is, right? So, you figure out that Atreus is Loki. They're one and the same. Not an adult, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Atreus is Loki. Loki has two children in Norse mythology. Two children that play a very important role in Ragnarok. Loki's two children are Fenrir, the giant wolf. Let's look up a picture of Fenrir. God of War. We do have a picture of Fenrir in God of War. What's the best one? That's a good one. It's a video. We'll go to that one. That one's cooler. Open image in new tab. So this is one of Loki's children, supposedly. Fenrir, giant wolf. Again, Loki has the appearance of a human. And so does his wife in the Norse myth, Angrboda. You know, in fact. Yeah, some people are mad that Angrboda is black. Of course, a very white person thing to do. But hang on. Atreus, and Angrboda have 2 children. One of them is Fenrir. The giant wolf. And no leash can hold Fenrir, so they have to make a leash out of like some weird ass shit. Like I think one of the things is the sound of a cat's footsteps to make this or whatever. And then to because that's the only thing that can hold Fenrir. And the legend goes that Fenrir says, you know, they're probably trying to trick me with this one. This one might actually hold me when they actually make the chain or the string. So he says, I will put this on if and only if one of you put your arm in my mouth, as like a show of good faith type of thing. So the only one brave enough to do this is Tyr. And we know that Tyr plays a big part in God of War Ragnarok as well. But anyway, we're straying from the point. There's a lot we can talk about that people are theorizing on, but I want to focus on this one thing. Loki and Angrboda have 2 children, Fenrir and Jormungandr, the World Serpent. The World Serpent. Now I want to focus on these 2 images here. Is this like the breath of life, transferring life into the Father? Maybe. What I want to make it look like anyway is a serpent. This looks coiled like a serpent, right? Coiled like a serpent. Jormungandr. Look at the design for a second. He has these red markings across his eyes, down his body, and otherwise he is, you know, stark white, ash white, you may even say. Who else is ash white? Why, Kratos is. Kratos is ash white with red tattoos, because he was cursed to carry the sins of his past with him, in the form of his first wife and child's ashes being seared onto his flesh. He literally has to carry that sin with him for all time. Interesting design choice. I don't think it was done on accident. I think this was very purposefully done. Red tattoos on Jormungandr. You know, he's got moss and stuff, which could potentially mimic the beard that Kratos has. But what ties this together for me is if you slow down, we should get to it today. No, we've already gotten to it. We've already gotten to it in God of War. If you slow down your first encounter, well, you got to speed it up and pitch it up, actually, with Jormungandr, it sounds like he's saying, I know you, Ghost of Sparta, find Mimir and go. That's what the community is largely thinking he says. And it really does sound like it. It really sounds like it. Oh, I'll put A. Whoops. It's a Reddit discussion. This will be, 127. There we go.
This is great!
I know.
Yeah!
Congrats on 20 subs, Mr. Sword Armor.
Stay calm, boy.
Sounds like it. Sounds like I know you. This second part is a little harder to make out.
Did you hear IT let me speed IT up?
Okay. Thank you for speeding it up.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is great.
Sounds like it. Sounds very, very much like it. I know you, Ghost of Sparta. How would Jormungandr know Kratos? A god from a distant land who has lived in relative solitude since he got to Midgard. And even in the game, we've already seen this part too. The Witch of the Woods even says, when questioned about when, how, why Jormungandr is sleeping in the Lake of the Nine, they say, we don't know. He just appeared one day. That's literally what she says. Don't know, he just appeared one day. So the theory is that, again, defying fate, defying death, that Kratos gets reborn as Jormungandr, as evidenced by the design, maybe the beard, that's a stretch, I know that one. But the ashy white skin on Jormungandr, ashy white skin on Kratos, the red tattoos on Kratos, the red markings all throughout Jormungandr's body. And then we know, hey Jordan, how you doing? I'm conspiracy theorying my shit together here. Thank you for coming in. This scene right here, coupled with the I Know You Ghost of Sparta clip, when you speed up Jormungandr's voice, coupled with the design, this, hang on, let me get rid of these. This tells me that Atreus knows that that Kratos is supposed to die in Ragnarok. Kratos takes the place of the god of war, right? Tyr, the Norse god of war, also dies in Ragnarok. Also in line with the myth that kind of supports this idea of Kratos being reborn through Loki or Atreus as Jormungandr. I know it's kind of weird. Just follow me. It's weird to think of Loki reincarnating his dying father into what? No. Get out of here. Weird. Anyway, sorry if you're watching this on YouTube. That was want to become famous bot in my chat, basically. Where was I? I was following Loki, Atreus, basically giving birth to Jormungandr the World Serpent by means of reincarnation of his dying father. Not very far-fetched as far as Norse mythology is concerned, considering that Atreus and Angrboda, two human-appearing Jotnar, give birth to a giant wolf and a serpent that is described as being so big it can wrap around the entire world and bite its tail. Not far-fetched. So, design, the voice clip sped up. This mural right here. And the fact that in the newest story trailer, Atreus says, or reveals, I guess, that he has a secret that he cannot tell Kratos. I feel like that secret pertains to this right here, Maybe Atreus gets wind that he can resurrect his father to in some capacity. Plus, in God of War 2018, the one that we are playing right now on the channel, they don't know where, when, how, why Jormungandr got in the lake. He just appeared one day. That's literally what the Witch of the Woods says. He just appeared one day. We don't know. So, it could be Kratos being reincarnated as Jormungandr and being sent back in time, sorta. The time travel part is where it gets a little fuzzy, where I'm not sure how to explain that. He's telling himself to no avail, I know you, Ghost of Sparta. Find Mimir, go. So I think it'd be really cool if this were to come true. I think a lot of the evidence is pointing towards it, right? Atreus has a secret. Kratos, the Ragnarok is the last God of War game that Kratos will appear in. This mural, everything we've already said. So I think everything is pointing towards the fact that Kratos gets reincarnated as Jormungandr, and somehow, maybe by means of the maybe some trick to do with Tyr's temple in the middle of the Lake of the Nine, gets sent back in time, into the lake, appears one day, doesn't know how, doesn't know why, but he knows who he is. He appears in the Lake of the Nine because he knows Kratos and Atreus will appear at the Lake of the Nine at some point to go on their journey to spread phase ashes on the tallest mountain in the realms. And Kratos is maybe warning his past self, I know you, find Mimir and go. Whether go means finish this journey or go means get out. I don't know. But we know that the death of Baldur kind of kicks off Ragnarok in the God of War games. It invokes Fimbulwinter because it invokes the Wrath of Freya, blah, 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 blah. You know, I just feel like it's a very, very, very plausible theory at this point. It's very, very plausible. Sorry, I had to get my game theory shit on there real quick. My game theory hat. I just wanted to talk about it real quick before we play the game, because I really feel like that's plausible. It'd be so cool that Kratos was reincarnated into one of the things that he hates. Maybe he finds a newfound respect for the gods throughout the game. He realizes that not all gods are bad. Because in Norse mythology, you've got this idea of Aesir gods versus Vanir gods, and one are benevolent for the people, the other are like, no, the people should worship us, and maybe he finds a new respect for gods, realizes that not all of them are bad, and maybe he's like, okay, I have to do this. I can go back in time. I can warn my past self, and it'd be kind of cool if we got to play that moment out, right? Where somehow we change the events of God of War 2018, where that first encounter occurs, and you're like, oh shit, I know what he's talking about now. I gotta go. I gotta do something different. I have to stop Ragnarok from happening this early, at least. Something like that. So, yeah. That's my conspiracy theorist, my Charlie Day, a la It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, freaking strung out, trying to explain this conspiracy theory, cigarette in mouth, like, you know the meme, you know the one, to you guys, so that hopefully I can get you on my side, right? So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, let me know down below. Do you guys subscribe to this theory? If not, let's have a discussion in the comments. I get email notifications whenever somebody comments on one of my YouTube videos, so we can talk about it. I also get push notifications on my phone. I want to talk with you guys about this kind of stuff in the comments. So if you have any other theories, anything that you feel like will come true in God of War Ragnarok, please put it in the comments below. I would love to have a discussion with you guys. As always, subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you liked, this little rant, I guess. And be sure to come over to twitch.tv/Zenical and give that a follow so you can catch this kind of stuff when it happens live. Right? So I basically just cut the VOD and put it on YouTube at this point. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. Hopefully you enjoyed this little my first little foray into theory crafting and stuff. And yeah, let's really have a discussion in the comments below. Bye.